My childhood friend abandoned me, and now he wants back in my life.
You know, the cyclical nature of the world doth find itself in this Reddit here today.
Trigger warning for fatal car accident. Backstory 2.5 years before the current issue. For context, my best friend Tom, 36 male, and I, 34 female, are really close, as besties are. Our fathers were friends since their teens, and our mothers were friends at college. His mom wanted a daughter, so when I was born, she became my godmother. By the way, this comes from user GirlyGeek, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
And I'm Riley.
And I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, folks. But we are not all-knowing creatures. We don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do in any given situation. So if you would do something different, let us know in the comments. OP says, Tom is engaged to Anne. Their wedding is going to be in less than 2 weeks. Tom and I live in a different state from our parents, so most of the wedding party is Anne's friends and family. Tom wanted his brother Jim to be a groomsman and asked me to be a bridesmaid with Jim. We're the only two people related to Tom in the wedding party. During dress shopping day, I noticed that all the other girls were very cold towards me. They would either ignore my attempts to initiate conversation or give very short answers. Every time I was with them, I tried to bound, but I was
I've never heard that.
Getting uncomfortable with the situation until Anne's cousin started to attend the events and interacted with me. My godmother came earlier to help Jim move out of Tom's apartment. He's been living there since he got a job here last year. They co-own the apartment, but he decided to sell his share and move out before the wedding. Anne wanted him to move sooner so they could remodel the apartment to be more her taste. This would spark a lot of arguments between them. Last week, my godmother called me, and she was very disappointed with my behavior and wanted to talk to me. She said she was expecting me in the bridal shower that afternoon, and I didn't show up, just like in Anne's bachelorette party. I showed her my phone, and there was no invitation to go to either event, in which I had no idea they were happening or when. I told her about the cold shoulder I was getting every time I was doing something with them, and it wouldn't surprise me that they wanted to have a party without me, so they'd be more comfortable among themselves. It wouldn't bother me if they had not lied about me refusing to participate out of spite for Anne. She promised me she wasn't going to talk to either Anne or Tom about it because I didn't want to create drama. On Monday, Tom called me asking, "What's going on?" His mother, Anne, had a huge argument over the apartment renovations again. And after Anne said something like, "It would have been done sooner if Jim had moved to a hotel sooner," my godmother blew up, which prompted Anne to admit she never wanted us in the bridal party. Tom was angry at me for not letting him know I was being treated badly before things got to that point. I told him I didn't want to add to his plate and create more arguments around the wedding. But since Anne never wanted me as a bridesmaid, I would step down. I knew Jim wanted to step down long ago because of the arguments around him moving. He didn't for Tom. Now, Anne's friends are calling me an a-hole for stepping down so close to the wedding as revenge on Anne. You're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
Bride shouldn't have had you in the wedding party at all if she didn't want you there in the first place. Now the truth has been revealed. Everyone says I should just apologize to Anne for all of this. Am I the a-hole? No. No, you're not.
No. Maybe everybody should just stop getting married.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of Reddit stories are about weddings. What's the common denominator? Weddings.
Getting married.
Yeah.
Checkmate.
Checkmate.
Here we are. Okay. Tom and I have known each other our whole lives. Our families have been close for decades, and his mom is also my godmother. He has 3 older brothers, and our parents are really close. Although our families still live in another state, Tom and I both moved away years ago. His brother, Jim, 40, relocated to our state about 6 years ago for work, which brought us all even closer for a while. After Tom's wedding, Jim lived with us for a few months before buying a place in our building. My husband, 39 male, and Jim had gotten close through work and shared interests, so having him around just felt natural. A lot of late night gaming, too. Meanwhile, things with Tom started to shift. After wedding drama, his wife Anne set some boundaries when it came to me. I respected that. But it changed the dynamic between Tom and I. We went from being like siblings to something more distant and careful. For a while, we only really saw each other during family events, birthdays, holidays, or when our parents visited. Then came March of last year. Jim and my husband were coming back from a work trip with two coworkers when another driver tried to pass on a curve and hit them head on. Dang! It's like the third car accident we've had today. Everyone drive safe out there.
I was just about to say, just be careful. Just be careful out there.
The driver of their car passed away instantly. My husband was in the front seat. Jim was behind him. All three survivors were rushed to the hospital. I met my husband at the ER. He was conscious but in pain. He kept telling me to check on Jim and that he was going to be okay. That was the last thing he said. He passed away a few hours later during emergency surgery. After his surgery, Jim was taken to the ICU. I stayed with him until my godmother arrived. I called Tom to let him know. He never came. He only spoke to his mom. I was alone in that hospital for almost 2 days. The rest of that year is a blur. Gee, no wonder. My in-laws and parents took turns staying with us. Jim pulled through, but it was months of rehab and panic attacks from survivor's guilt. Somewhere in the middle of it all, the three of us, me and my 4-year-old son and Jim, just held each other up. I stopped reaching out to Tom. He didn't reach out to me either. I understood giving his marriage space, but when everything happened and he still stayed away, it broke our friendship. Now, out of nowhere, Tom wants to reconnect. He's planning a family vacation with his brothers, their partners and kids, and wants me and my son to join like old times. Everyone else is on board. I'm the only one hesitating, because honestly, I don't trust him. Tom wasn't there when I needed him most, and I'm not mad he chose his wife. I just wish he hadn't chosen silence, too. He says this trip is an olive branch. He keeps insisting I go or at least tell him why I don't want to. And the truth is, I haven't moved past what he didn't do. I don't want to start anything, but I also don't want to pretend none of it happened. And I don't know how to explain that without reopening something I've worked really hard to survive. Any advice? And there are some top/relevant comments here.
I don't think a vacation is the way to it's funny. I wonder if in his head he's like, oh, like this is like the olive branch, like it's this big gesture. It's this big gesture of like a vacation and stuff, and that'll be what re-sparks this. When the truth is, you need to talk. Like you don't go straight to the shared vacation. You go to
you go to the coffee shop, dude.
I wasn't there for you when I needed. You go to the acknowledging. You go to the talking. Like, and the fact that he's trying to push her to come, like, God, heart goes out to her.
Yeah. We have comment from Suspicious Fan 4105 asking for info. Why is Tom's wife suddenly okay with you being invited on a trip if y'all couldn't even be friends after you got married? I'm so sorry for your loss, OP. That said, you absolutely do not need to tell Tom why you won't go on the trip. It doesn't matter if he's bringing an entire olive tree. His behavior during and after the crisis is reprehensible. He could have at least sent a message instead of silence. You do what you need to do to protect your peace. That's the most important thing. You don't owe him or anyone else a reason why you're not going. OP responds, as far as I know, it's been something my godparents and my parents have been trying to mend. I understand that both our families are close, and his brothers took turns helping us out during Jim's recovery, since I was in no position of driving him to doctor's appointments and all that. I'm close with all of them, and so is my brother. The difference between Tom and I was our close age and shared interests that made us be glued together since childhood. Sydney Reb says, I'm sorry, but this is confusing. You were married/widowed. You lived with your husband, Tom, and his wife, plus Jim, for a time in an apartment? Tom is a bad pseudo-brother and to you, and a pretty bad brother to his actual brother. He appears to want you to forget all that and just be happy he's gotten through his difficult time. You could suggest to Tom that you'll let him know when and if you're ready to forgive him for his grievish absence when you needed him. OP replies, Tom and Jim had bought a place together, but when Tom proposed, his then-fiancée wanted Jim out. It all blew up a couple weeks before their wedding. While Jim was in a hotel looking for a new place, my husband offered our place for him to crash. He had already received money for his share of the property to invest in a new one. So Jim lived with us for about 3 months until he moved out to his own place. And there's an update. It's 11 days later. I think you can just say, hey, I don't want it in this context. Maybe let's meet up and talk after.
Yeah.
I appreciate the thought. But you
Yeah.
really don't need to do like the 5-paragraph explanation. It's like, save that for when you guys meet up if that's what you want. Let's go ahead and get into the update. I took everyone's comments into consideration, along with what's been coming up in grief counseling, and made some peace with parts of the situation. I don't hold Tom accountable for not supporting me. You can't demand support from someone who never really offered it, and Tom and I had already grown distant before my husband passed away, but I can't pretend it didn't hurt. Tom went to the funeral, but after that, nothing, not even a text. To answer what a few asked, no, I'm not romantically involved with Jim. We've gotten close this past year, and my son adores him, but I'm not ready to open my heart again, and Jim has never hinted at wanting more. Which you should definitely not do anything romantic with the man who survived the wreck that took your husband. That's going to be a little too charged, okay, for a healthy relationship. Our therapist calls our relationship limbo, not quite something, but too close to be nothing. Especially now, with my son asking Jim to go to his Father's Day presentation because he does dad things and now he doesn't have a dad. So yeah, it's weird. Confusing as all get out, with a small kid in the mix. And now here's the update. I decided to call everyone individually. My parents, godparents, each of Tom's siblings, including Jim. They were all understanding, and they suggested a small trip for my birthday without Tom, which I agreed to. They're right, I do need some normalcy, but that doesn't mean pretending nothing happened. I left Tom for last. I was honest with him, and he got frustrated that I wasn't willing to just let it go. He said he hates hospitals, he was scared for his brother and froze, and after some time he just didn't know how to make amends and asked me to not make him the villain. I kept thinking that while he froze, I had news that Jim might never wake up by a doctor, and less than an hour later I was making calls to let my in-laws know that their son was gone. I took care of the funeral because I could not ask my mother-in-law to do it. She was doing her best with my son at home while also grieving the loss of her son. My parents and godparents took the first flight available, but still it was only on the next day. I let Tom know that it is unfair of him to compare his fears to what I had to endure alone for those first 48 hours. He understood we're never going back to what we were. He still organized the original trip with his siblings, but he knows I won't be there. I'm not ready to talk to him again beyond this. Hopefully, my birthday trip will be a good start to move forward, and that Tom will respect the space I need without pushing. And by the way, I'm going to push you to listen to full episodes with stories like this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. Wherever you get your stories, just type in OK Storytime, and you can listen to every story we've ever told, basically. And we do have some comments to finish off. Relevant comment from Odd Consideration 754. What confuses me, and maybe I missed it somehow, is why is Tom's wife suddenly okay with OP going on the trip? It seems like she would be even more insecure now that she's a widow and technically single, even though I fully understand you wouldn't be interested no matter what. Was Tom not going to tell her about the trip and let her lose her mind on a grieving woman when she found out? Or did she know and have intentions of being hurtful to her on the trip? OP says, I truly have no idea if Anne was okay or not about me going on the trip. We don't talk since their wedding. I never really tried to make any amends with her. And after cutting Tom off too, I realized that sometimes a rift is a good thing. The Greek Italian replies, if he wants to just let it go, then he can start by making a proper apology. The very least he could have done was send you a text. He cannot let his own fears and his wife's boundaries be an excuse for his behavior when the rest of his family was still able to reach out and be there for you. Not to mention that you helped take care of his brother. I'm quite curious to know where his wife stands with this trip he planned, knowing you had been invited. And OP says, being honest, I really don't know if Anne was okay or not. We don't talk since their wedding. I remember remarks from while I was in the wedding party. Her friends were always saying it was weird that he lived with his brother and we're still close to his childhood friends.
That's crazy. Can I just say something?
Yeah.
What a sad, dank world to live in where you look at anybody else and like your gut reactions are like, oh, it's weird that they're living with their family, and it's weird that they're close to their childhood friends. Like, just what a sad place that must be to look upon relationships.
To just
and
label
with
it as
judgment.
weird and not just like well, that's nice.
Yeah.
You still are friends with your childhood friends. That's good.
Yeah.
Or it's like, oh, you can live with your family. Like, okay, that's nice. We come from different backgrounds. Our family is Italian. Our grandparents were Italian. We don't
cut
get
to me
married
on
and
Italian.
leave the family, but make it grow. My husband was also from an Italian household, so for him, it made as much sense as it did to me. He was very close to all his cousins, and even after his passing, I'm still close with his family. Just yesterday, I was in his cousin's daughter's baptism, not out of politeness, but because I'm still family. Anne's family is different. You get married, and only special holidays or events are family, but nuclear always comes first. I don't know if this makes sense to you guys, and that's the end of that story. You know, what makes sense to me? Let's just all get along and like each other.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah. Love each other, read poetry, make funny bits.
Yes.
That's
Funny bits and quips and
jests.
snaps and
Maybe
flaps.
maybe even goofs and gaffs.
Yes.
If you're thinking of it. My friend wanted to get rid of our adopted cat because her boyfriend is allergic.
I'm getting rid of your boyfriend.
Yesterday was $10 adoption day at the local animal shelter in my city. So my roommate, Ashley, 20 female, and I, 25 female, decided to go check out the cats. We intended to just love on some kitties and go home, but we each fell in love with one.
Isn't that the story as old as time?
Yeah. We are now the proud owners of Socks and Dizzy. Very cute names. By the way, this comes from Crazy Cat Stitch. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Riley.
I'm Dakota.
And I'm Sophia. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to give advice. We're going to make some goofs and some gaffs. But of course, that's all we're really qualified to do.
That's
is goof and
right.
gaff. We have no degrees in anything other than goofing and gaffing.
I don't even have one of those.
Dang. But if you've experienced any of this stuff or have stuff to say, leave it in the comments. The OP says, before we adopted the cats, my roommate's boyfriend, Nick, 24 male, made it clear that he was allergic to animals. Not realizing how severe his allergy was, Ashley decided to get the cat and assumed that Nick could just take medication before coming over to our apartment.
That's super
I'm,
messed up.
Ready to turn the phone off.
No.
That's super messed
I
up.
think it is a fair assumption
I
that it's like
disagree.
okay, you can probably take some Benadryl.
Nah.
But as soon as it's made clear that that is not the case,
Cat gotta go.
When Ashley texted Nick, telling him that we got 2 cats, he texted her back, well, it was nice knowing you.
okay. I mean,
Big swing. A little background on them. They met at work a while ago, but remained friends as Ashley was seeing another coworker named Johnny.
gross.
When
Serial
John-
coworker dater.
When Johnny and Ashley broke up, Nick told her that he would like to sleep with her. She started spending time with him, and the friendship turned into a relationship. The morning we adopted our cats, Ashley was telling me that she was having doubts about her 2-week-old relationship with Nick because he was too clingy. When they spent time together, he had to constantly touch her, and he took up too much of her space when they went to sleep at night. He also told her he loved her already, but would not say it for real yet because he did not think she was ready. This all freaked her out, and she was thinking about taking a step back from everything. She also still had feelings for Johnny and still dreamed about him. I think this is holding her back in her relationship with Nick as well. Yeah, probably. I think that's an astute observation. At this point, it is worth mentioning that I also have a boyfriend named Charlie, whom I have been on and off again with for coming up on a year. Charlie has clothes, towels, toiletries, and a toothbrush here. Ashley mentioned that although she had been having doubts about Nick, she was looking forward to him gradually moving his things in as well. Last night, Nick came over to spend some time with Ashley, and the severity of his allergies became clear. He left saying he did not know if this could work. When I came home from work tonight, I found Ashley on the bed crying and saying that she was going to have to get rid of Dizzy. Hey, quick thing. I hate to be the pedantic on this. You do have 2 cats. So just getting rid of the one is not going to solve the situation.
Is not the brightest bulbs in the light bulb shed.
In the
story.
tiny oven. Honestly, this seems rash and irresponsible to me. She's already attached to the cat and signed the adoption papers. In my opinion, she agreed to take care of this animal and should uphold her end of that agreement. Also, even if she gets rid of Dizzy, I have no intention of getting rid of Socks, so it will not really solve her boyfriend problem. That's what I'm saying. Dizzy is an older cat, 7 years, and is less likely to get adopted again than the younger cats and kittens at the shelter. He had already been there for quite a while. Considering her doubts about her relationship to Nick, I think it is not a good idea to get rid of Dizzy. I personally think she will regret it when she and Nick break up. Plus, she's a huge cat person. There is no way she can date long-term who does not ever want to be around cats. I asked her if he had ever seriously tried medication, and she said he's tried some over-the-counter stuff, but has never seen a doctor for the allergy. I told her that it is possible there's a medication that will work for him.
That's crazy. This bozo hasn't even had his allergies attempted to be treated, which you can do today. It doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah,
but you have to do it.
Shots for years and years, and they didn't really do much for me, but they did minimize some seasonal allergies.
Yeah.
Anyways, as I am not allergic or in a relationship, I do not quite know how much sense my advice or opinions make. I was looking for some impartial opinions on how to best resolve the situation. Hopefully Reddit can help. You've heard mine. She should take this opportunity to break up with Nick.
You should make it clear that it's like, I noticed that you're ready to get rid of your cat for your boyfriend so he won't have any allergies here. I'm not getting rid of my cat. I'm not getting rid of my cat.
Comment 1. Just point out to her that you won't be getting rid of Socks. There's no point in getting rid of Dizzy if her only issue is the boyfriend being allergic. That being said, I look forward to your next post. My roommate wants me to get rid of my cat for her boyfriend. Fair enough, the slippery slope.
Mm-hmm.
Haha, Socks is not going anywhere, says OP. He is a timid cat, and being around all of the people at the shelter took its toll. He was shaking when I met him. He's a totally different cat now. I would never put him through the shelter situation again. Poor little bugger. Also, I've pointed this out to her, but she plans to keep her bedroom as a sort of quarantine zone if she gives back Dizzy. No cats will go into her room, so her boyfriend will be able to sleep here. Comment 2. As a person with severe cat allergies, I can assure you that won't work one bit. I made another post here somewhere below. I think she should get rid of the cat because she sounds irresponsible as F. I'm worried for that cat if she's flip-flopping on such a huge decision as to care for another life like this. I don't know how anyone decides out of nowhere to take care of a cat. It's a huge responsibility, and if she's already going back on her decision, that's a huge red flag. Poor kitty. At least you sound dedicated to yours. Cat's shed, that hair moves around. Unless you have an airlock on that door and change clothes, the apartment will still have a ton of dander in it. I mean, she loves on the cat in the main room. Where does she take her clothes off and leave them? Probably the quarantine zone. There's an update. Would we like to hear it? I love, just real quick, I love that it goes, update, immediately followed by, this is not so much an update as it is a request for some more advice.
Ah, well, here it is.
I told my roommate about my post here, and that the majority of responders agreed with me on giving up the cat. I also told her that no matter what she did, I would support her. Finally, I told her that if she did not want Dizzy, Charlie and I were happy to adopt him. She got frustrated and huffed, well, that solves nothing. For the last few nights, Nick has been staying with us, and she has been Dizzy out of her room. Charlie and I sleep with our door open so that Socks can come and go, and Dizzy has been wandering in to sleep with us. This morning, Ashley came into my room and woke us up to complain that Dizzy was sleeping with us and spending time in our room. OP was pretty surprised, honestly. That's fair. If you do not want the cat to sleep in my room, stop locking him out of your room. Not only are Charlie and I letting Dizzy sleep with us, we are feeding him, giving him medication for his upper respiratory infection, changing his litter, etc. We are his caretakers. Yeah, that's your cat. Charlie has started calling both cats our babies. After Ashley left for class this morning, Charlie and I got up and spent the day running errands. We came home around 7 p.m. tonight and could not find Dizzy anywhere. I'm concerned. When I went into Ashley's room to look under her bed, I heard Dizzy in the closet. Poor guy had been locked in there all day. When I texted Ashley telling her that she accidentally locked him in there, she was upset. Not because her poor cat had not been able to eat, drink, or go to the bathroom all day, but because he probably got fur on her clothes and she would have to wash them before spending time with Nick.
Your boyfriend sucks, and so do you.
Yeah. I love my roommate, but her behavior towards this poor cat is pissing me off. I keep finding myself so mad at her. The shelter we adopted the cats from also pays for a checkup if you make an appointment within the first week after adoption. I made my appointment for Socks, but she never made one for Dizzy. Because my name is not on Dizzy's adoption papers, I cannot take him in, and texted her with the vet's number so she could make an appointment for her cat too. She immediately asked me to do it for her. This may seem small, but she is taking no responsibility for this creature she adopted, and it is exasperating. Reddit. I am at my wit's end, and so is Charlie. What the heck do we do? I do not want to lose my roommate. I just want my level-headed friend back. Was your friend ever level-headed, or are you just now realizing?
I don't know. Some people are different when they're dating.
That's, yeah.
And she sounds like she's dating a guy who's not great. And
Yeah.
he's just a coworker.
This guy has clearly changed her priorities, and nothing I do can get her to see that the way she's treating Dizzy is just wrong.
I think you need to make it less about the cat and more about, like, why you're dating this guy and he's like a freak weirdo who told you he loved you in 2 weeks, but not really, and he's gonna wait for you to feel it back, and not in like a cute way, in like a weird way.
Yeah. Because that's really the thing is, like, yes, this all started because of the cats, but you are now getting into stuff about responsibility, about, like, your friendship and your relationship. Surprise, surprise, the advice is have a big old conversation. Since the mini update I posted, things have gotten both better and worse. So I'm scared that there's anything beyond this. I'm scared that there's worse past this. The good news is Ashley broke up with Nick. She finally realized that she was only dating him to get over another guy, and she had no real feelings for Nick. I was so proud of her and really happy for her as well. She seemed happier for about a week and then started dating her boss. Oh.
Stop.
Oh.
Stop dating the people that you work with.
Oh. That was so fast.
I mean, honestly, no, keep doing this. Work your way all the way up to the CEO. Marry him, divorce, settlement package. Then you can have all the cats you want.
That's really the ultimate goal. We're trying to get to as many cats as possible. She has no physical attraction to him, but wants someone to warm her bed. And your boss?
I mean, if that was my good friend, I would be like, hey, do you not see how maybe your dating pattern is a little destructive?
Oh.
Potentially.
Wow. Speaking
just
of
putting it out there.
of potential, there's so many more potential episodes you could be watching for OK Storytime. Go to your Spotify, Apple, or whatever wherever you listen to podcasts. Pick up that conch on the shore and put it to your ear, and you will find OK Storytime. There is another update, but yeah. Truly, there's like the cat part is up here, and I feel like that's what OP like thinks the story is about. And then here in the background is the craziest thing going on at whatever this workplace is.
True.
Whatever bowling alley or law firm that the roommate works at sounds like a mess.
Maybe it's a bowling alley law firm.
The update. However, it has become apparent since the split with Nick that Ashley just does not care about her cat Dizzy in general. He's overweight, but she does not put him on a diet. She doesn't change the litter. We take turns doing the litter box. She lies and says she has done it when she has not. She never fills their water, etc. All of this is fine. I will take care of the food and litter, and I will buy diet cat food, but Dizzy is sick, and she will not take him to a vet. This is so sad. Her excuse is that she has not found one yet. When we adopted him, he had an upper respiratory infection. The shelter gave us medicine for him, and we made sure he took it. He was okay for a couple of weeks, but now he is sneezing again and has goopy eyes. No, not the goopy eyes.
Not the goopers.
I'm really worried about him, but Charlie and I are barely making ends meet right now. We cannot afford to take Dizzy to the vet. Ashley, on the other hand, is fully capable of taking him. She just will not. I'm worried about Dizzy's health. He's an older cat, and I do not want this infection to get worse. The poor guy must be miserable, but Ashley is doing nothing. She actually thinks it is funny to say bless you every time he sneezes. I just want to scream at her to take him to the damn vet. Charlie and I tried once before to take him to the vet with us when we took Socks for his post-adoption checkup, but the vet said that since Dizzy's microchip has Ashley's name on it, we cannot be the ones to bring him in.
Really? That seems a
Yes,
little... That seems a little weird. Can you just say, I live with, this is my roommate's cat. I live with her. We're just saying she can't come. She has work. They'd be like, no, actually, the microchip doesn't have your name on it. I'd be like, okay, so do I just throw this cat away? Like, what?
Do I just leave him here then?
Do you have a solution for this?
Somebody says, I would go and talk to the animal shelter who ran the adoption day. Say you think the cat needs medical attention, but your roommate who actually adopted him won't do it, and you can't do it because your name isn't on the microchip. Ask if they can have one of their vets look at him and if they can suggest any long-term solutions. They may even have the power to revoke the adoption and give him to you. Some contracts have fine print about that. Also, you could try another vet and just not mention he isn't yours. Most don't routinely check for ownership before treating.
Yeah, like that's so weird. I've never heard that really being an issue. Do they have like a vet Hippocratic oath where it's like you gotta do it?
Is that the title? Is there something about an oath?
I don't know.
Hippocratic.
Isn't that the Hippocratic oath? You gotta do it.